Cool. Welcome to Word of Mouth.
Sweet.
Our third ever episode. Here live with Josh Jones of which specific suburb of Atlanta are you from?
Lilburn, Georgia.
From Lilburn, Georgia. Birthplace of myself.
Wow.
Well, actually, I guess I was born in Lawrenceville, but definitely grew up in Lilburn for a short little 4 years.
Throwburn.
Yeah, we were neighbors for 4 years. Well, I guess I'm 2 years older than you, so for two, oh man, those years really got away.
Man, you blink and you miss it.
Oh man, truly. All right, guys. Well, we are, like I said, live on Word of Mouth.
Josh, tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah, Josh, what do we need to know about you?
Yep. I was born outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and lived there for pretty much all my life throughout high school, and then graduated and went to UGA in Athens, Georgia.
Go Dogs.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And actually grew up a Georgia Tech fan. So,
Go Jackets.
yeah, most of my life it was Go Jackets. So that was a fun transition.
When Georgia Tech plays Georgia now, is there like a small part of you that still has like your childhood fanhood?
A little bit, actually.
Fandom?
It's weird. You know, after the first year or two of going to Georgia, I kind of converted, but
Sure.
you know, my dad and brother still root for Tech, so every once in a while I'll be rooting for them. But yeah, I moved to Birmingham in May, so my now wife and I,
Wife check.
What's her name?
Allie, now Jones, was a wise so we started dating in high school, and she went to Samford. So after
Go Dogs.
more dogs.
All the dogs.
So after,
Hey, what can I say? We're dog people.
we love them.
Oof, oof.
Oh man.
Anyway,
Okay, so
we
Allie,
moved to Birmingham
Yeah.
because of
high school sweethearts.
Yeah,
How long did you date Allie?
7 years.
7 years.
I have not
What
known
was your
my wife
favorite
that
year?
long.
I haven't known my wife for nearly that long. Well, actually, maybe I have, actually. Anyways, what was your favorite year? Year one?
That's an interesting. Yeah, honestly, maybe so. I think.
Wow.
I think that's. I mean,
I kind of said that as a joke.
no, but I mean, obviously, like our relationship has like grown a lot with time, but I don't know, just the newness of like, you know, I don't know how much like a freshman in high school pursues a girl, but like my childish flirting and just like you know, getting to know her was super fun then. But I mean, I think this year of marriage has been a highlight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. You and Allie, let's see. Yeah, I think I met Allie, I mean, whenever she was a freshman, because she was my friend Maddie's friend. And I think I probably met you shortly thereafter because you started coming to Birmingham to visit. So
Yeah, I think we met at is it Revelator, the one that was closed? It's closed now?
downtown.
It was the other one.
Mountain Brook.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
the Mountain Brook.
How about that? Yeah. Yeah, so we've known each other for quite a while now. But whenever you moved to Beham, I've deeply enjoyed having you in town, I'll be honest.
Well, thanks.
We stole one from Athens.
yeah.
What a good bud.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I'm gonna send him the link to this just because. But my good friend Nick started a podcast.
Wow.
I think that was sophomore year of college, and it was this bit that he would just not let me on. And so he would have like the most like he'd like call people on Zoom to have a call, like to have an episode with them. So whole love to know that I am finally on a podcast.
You've made it on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nick,
What a fool.
up yours.
It is no longer in existence, though.
Well, that's a cool name.
If that was the
Could you
name of
imagine?
it.
Yeah, welcome to No Longer in Existence.
Some kind of philosophical, nihilistic, like, what is the
What was the
meaning
name of the
everything
podcast,
It was called Very Important Opinions. It was actually pretty interesting. It was kind of like a hot takes podcast where I have somebody on with just like one of their controversial topics, and he would just kind of grill them on it, and you'd have to defend it.
Speaking of that, do you have any hot topics, Josh? Or hot takes, sorry?
Do you own Hot Topic?
I kind of have to be prompted. Like if something comes up, I'll be like, oh yeah. I guess a Birmingham hot take is Taco Mama's just bad.
Wow.
I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know if people.
I think that is a hot take.
Is it?
Producer Sam says that a lot of people would agree with that.
So therefore that's disqualified.
I don't know if people like take away the margarita pitchers there that are fan favorites. I don't know if people would go there truly.
Yeah,
I don't know though.
Maybe so.
I crave Taco Mama about twice a year.
Yeah, I loved it when I first moved to town, and after maybe a year or two, I had been there so many times. I was like, yeah, I could never eat here again, and I'd be fine.
Dude, Cameron Hayner, my roommate, best friend from Raleigh, North Carolina. He was like, dude, we were in Greensboro the other day. You have to, I ate the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life. He's from Cincinnati, Ohio. So taste isn't the thing from there. Sorry, Elijah. Elijah's probably like, you idiot, you've never heard of
fool you've never heard of Andrew Nair Lighting.
Andrew Nair. Oh, we gotta have him on one. If he's on, that would be crazy. Freak out. But anyways, so he was like, dude, he was in Greensboro with his job, which is like a town like an hour and a half from Raleigh or something like that. And he was like, dude, I had the best Mexican restaurant ever. It's this place called Taco Mama. Wow. And I was like, no way. That's, if it's the same place, that place is from Birmingham. And I was like, I gotta see it. And then I sent him the logo, and he was like, and sure enough, it was the same place. They've
gone all the way
because I think the first one was in Mountain Brook. I don't know though.
And then I think they just put one up in Athens, and everybody was raving about it. Wow. I was like, guys, don't get that excited.
Maybe it's way better whenever there's not 80 of them in one city or something. Yeah. But he sent it to me, and I was just like, bro, there's no freaking way that the best Mexican food this has ever. But also I don't hate Taco Mama. I don't think it's nearly worth the hype. Yeah. But also, hey, producer Griff, as a Texan, Taco Mama, what do you rate it? If 10 is the best Tex-Mex you've ever had, as the Dallas citizen that you are, not a Fort Worth citizen.
I like Taco Mama as well. I like 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10.
So it really wasn't a hot take, was it?
That is brutal.
I don't think I'd put it
just
2.
Destroyed. Absolutely wiped.
Hey, I'm actually really curious if there's a way to I don't know if we can throw this on Instagram with a scale or give me your thoughts.
I don't know.
What do you rate this?
We'll have to get our producer on.
We need to do some sort of rate. I would love to hear feedback on this. Yeah. What's the general consensus of, because I think everybody likes the vibe of going to Taco Mama with your friends in the summer or something like that.
It's kind of just easy. It's easy, fast, casual Mexican.
Yeah.
Their service, they bring out that food so fast.
I remember,
and the marks are cheap
at
on
Austin
Tuesdays.
Eck.
I had a
shout out Austin Eck.
Oh yeah, shout out Austin Eck. He worked there for a long time.
Yeah. Wow. Apparently they do make mad tip money.
Yeah, they make so much money. My buddy Rethan, I bet Rethan has literally no idea that I'm who I am anymore. But I was buddies with him for a while. He was in my major in college, and he worked there, and he was the bartender. And he made bank. It was crazy. He was in my sports comms group project, so we spent a lot of time together. And he told me it was crazy. But I think Taco Mama's. I don't really know if people love the food. I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested to hear. Yeah, I'm interested to hear. So, world, if you see this, drop in the comments. I don't know if there is comments on.
It's not on Spotify, but we'll put it on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, let us know. Let us know what you think.
I think about putting it on Twitter. I think you can post long form stuff on Twitter. X.
On X.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, Elon Musk. It was an accident.
So electric cars. Speaking of X, we pro, anti? Do you think that you'll actually not necessarily pro or anti? At what point in your life, is the next vehicle y'all buy, will it be electric?
Here's the thing. I go back and forth between liking really new, sweet tech cars and thinking if I had, X amount of money, I would just go buy this 1980 Ford Bronco.
I'm the same.
So it would depend on when when all that money hit my bank account, which car I would go get. Because I do really like some of the Teslas and stuff, but I'm also a sucker for like some.
To me, it would be like if I have a couple of fun cars, if I have a vintage car and a sports car, and I need like an appliance to take me to work.
Yeah.
That's when I would get an electric car.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be my only car.
I feel like it's super interesting because for like young people who are trying to get to that place, like if you're like I guess this is kind of funny right now because the entry point for it is so high that people who are more established are now getting electric cars.
Yeah.
But I feel like with more like the plug-in hybrids that are like half fuel, half plug-in, those are like budget-friendly cars, like to a certain extent, because they save you so much money on gas. I'm curious if, with the prevalence of them, if more like younger people will start getting them, and less like I feel like the only times I see electric cars or whenever I see like the super nice Subaru or like F-150 Lightning or Teslas, whenever I'm in like really like rich, wealthy areas of like cities, and less like the new Prius or like the plug-in hybrid RAV4. Like I don't see like entry-level electric cars anywhere yet. I feel like I don't know. Just something interesting. Just something to think about.
Something to think about. I do like Rivians. Rivians are cool, but that's $100,000 car. So that's not me.
It's like if I ever buy $100,000 car, I'm probably gonna get something like really cool and fun, like a Ford Bronco or Porsche or something.
What do you guys think about the like actual storefronts for like a Tesla? Or like when we were walking through like the west side of New York, and there was a whole store just devoted to Rivian, and they just had like 3 like different models of their cars and stuff.
I've never seen one.
I dig that. I think it's the future. I think
Future.
Like, do you think people just go in there and then like try it out and then buy the car?
I think Tesla has been revolutionary because they basically like almost commoditized the car. So it's not as much of a, I mean, everyone quote needs a car to get around, but Tesla made it so easy to like buy it as if you're buying a refrigerator. You just get online and you pick the color of the outside and the inside.
Yeah.
It's standard. It's got all the tech. It's clean. It's modern. And then
you can get like essentially a small, medium, or large. Like they all kind of look the same.
Yeah. And so I think that is also part of that. You don't go to the dealership and then look at all the different colors and the different models, and they suggest the big one or the small one or the pickup one or the sports car one. Instead, you just go to the store and you say, I want mine in red with white inside. And you get it. I think the store more than the dealership is kind of the future of cars.
I just think it's fascinating how cars are so futuristic, but nothing else in our society is. Like maybe homes, but also homes get dated like immediately.
Yeah.
But also cars kind of get dated to me. I just think that's fascinating how like a car that belongs in like the Jetsons, like on Mars or something, like a Rivian or like a brand new Tesla will literally have to, like the Cybertruck is going to have to drive through like freaking, I don't even know, like little 5 points in Atlanta with like 500 potholes and like a crooked light poles.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just like run down buildings. It's just, it's the greatest, almost like an irony, like a contradiction and like how bad America is and just how like how far the gap between like the consumers and the producers are. I don't know. Sorry.
It does bother me that a lot of architecture is just dull. Everything's a square beige box, and it hasn't really gotten any better. Like there used to be unnecessarily beautiful and ornate buildings. Yeah. Like Europe is the example where they just had gargoyles on the corners of their churches and stuff. And
I definitely think that like like Aztecs, Mexico, like ruins in South America, and then like Japan is like, I feel like Japan is the ultimate example of this.
Yeah.
Like I've been really into this like Oriental woodworking Japanese like YouTube guy. Yeah. That's like literally the most pretentious sentence I've ever said. But he like straight up like does not use machinery to build homes. Like he like
does everything by hand.
Yeah, he uses like a crane whenever things are too heavy to lift, like a tiny little crane, to put like stud boards in and stuff. But like it's crazy. He like literally he hand saws like when he like as much as he can before he has to use like a jigsaw or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I appreciate the longevity of things that are built in places like Japan. They think of things in hundreds of years as opposed to in the U.S. That's like a car's meant to last you 10 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
Like a Toyota Land.
Especially, like
Toyota Land Cruiser is built to last you like 25 years, and then you just buy another Toyota Land Cruiser and put another 500,000 miles on it.
It's crazy.
I think that's cool, as opposed to my Nissan Altima in high school that blew up at like 100,000 miles.
Yeah. Maybe that's why cars.
I guess that is a Japanese car. That nullifies my point.
But
So I like things that are
Nissan
built to last
Altimas
a
are
long
known
time.
to be like great cars.
Yeah.
But it is wild though, like how like trendy, like in the sense of like cars, like new car models come out like every single year. It's like a video game, like literally like there is like a level of like they have to be doing it all the time. I don't actually know if Tesla does that though. Tesla's like seems to be doing something very different.
I like that the Model S has not changed very much since it was first designed in like 2012 or whenever it first came out.
Yeah.
Like they've changed the front end a little bit, but it's still kind of the same shape.
Yeah.
And is Elon's like model for cars like with that kind of in mind, like to last?
I think
a
so.
super long time. Because I mean, I know there was stuff about like, I mean, I think every phone company, but especially like the initial iPods and stuff, like they were being exposed for like putting components or batteries in there that were going to physically not work after 1 year, after 2 years, so that you would have to come back, buy a new one.
Has to be something like that. Like I don't think
Well, I
like
think
durability
I
is
think
valued by
It's
Apple
one
at
of
all.
the cons and the problems of capitalism is like if you want to drive profits and increase and grow and make more money, then like you don't want your stuff to last so long that like people never have to buy a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's cheaper to keep a customer than to make a new one. So if you have the same person buying the same iPhone, the same car, the same whatever every couple years,
Yeah.
it's easier. It's easier to keep them coming back for more as opposed to waiting for them to use up their car or their phone after 10, 20 years.
That lifetime value.
I really feel like when upgrades went away for cell phones, like that should have been a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Like what I feel like people should have like caused a riot. Like every 2 years you used to get a free new phone with phone plans, and now like we can't. Like I feel like people should have been like, all right, we're not getting new phones. But everybody was just like, all right, we'll spend $1,200 more dollars.
Yeah, we'll spend
than we usually do every 2 years.
$1,000.
It's crazy.
Man.
So Josh, you went to New York.
Yeah.
Where did you stay? Why did you go? Tell us about the trip.
Yeah. It started because I'm trying to think of the order. So Allie and I got gifted with Hamilton tickets.
Wow.
Allie's a huge Hamilton fan. So we were trying to decide what if we just wanted to go to like the Fox in Atlanta or if we could make a trip out of it. And then found that we had some Delta credit that we had to use by the end of the year. So we said, let's go to New York. So Allie had never been to New York. I'd only been a couple times and not for too long a period. So we ended up staying with a friend of ours from high school.
Cool.
We were talking about like where to live, where you would live if you were in New York.
Yeah.
In a previous episode, and her apartment was like right above Bodega or whatever you call it.
Oh, cool.
It was kind of on the east side, so like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah,
from,
on the east side.
yeah, you know,
On the east side.
like 15 minutes from like central Manhattan.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you see
South
Casey
or
Neistat
north?
while you're there?
Wow.
What's that?
I said, did you see Casey Neistat while you're there?
I did actually.
Actually?
I didn't know if that was a joke. Yeah.
You actually
crazy.
saw him.
No. Yeah, I met him.
Holy cow!
I did not
That
know
was
that.
a complete joke.
That's funny because I've told a couple people and like a lot of people don't know who he is, but
Dude.
it's just funny because he's like a big deal in New
He's a
York.
huge deal if you're like a YouTube bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you watch YouTube.
Yeah, so we had spent like most of the day like in like the Central Park, like Rockefeller Center area.
Yeah.
And then we had some time to kill. And so I wanted to show Allie like Chinatown, and I realized we were close to his studio, so I just wanted to go see his studio because you can see it, like he has it lit up from
See ya, producer Sam.
see Sam.
Thanks, man.
Because if he like leaves the lights on, you can see it. I'd walk by it before. and we were walking away, and he was walking by with somebody.
Wow,
You're kidding.
That's what I've been talking
that's
about.
crazy.
Wow. What was the vibe when you went up and was he annoyed?
No, he was very friendly. He was in a hurry. He was with somebody.
Yeah.
And so he just kind of had me walk with him, and then Allie took a picture. But it was pretty fun. He was super nice.
What'd
That
you
is
talk
so
to him about?
Yeah.
I don't
Just
think
like,
much at
hey.
all. I think if he wasn't with somebody and not in a hurry, I would have like actually chatted with him.
Yeah.
I didn't want
But
to.
were you just like, oh my gosh, hey, like I'm a big fan?
I don't know. I think I just like said, "Hey Casey," and I like introduced myself and like thanked him for taking the time. It was like super brief.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, super nice guy.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You
That's
saw
really
like
cool.
the modern New York City legend.
Yeah. We also met. I didn't know who he was, but Allie picked him out and got a picture with him. I think his name's Scott, like the lead singer from Pentatonics. You know, listen to him.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? I think Allie like watched his YouTube channel or something when she was younger.
Dude, my parents love Pentatonics.
Really?
They are
I just thought that was such like
Allie.
a niche find.
That's freaking hilarious.
Really
Isn't that
niche. That's how I
Oh,
feel
man.
about. That's how I feel about most celebrities. Like if I walked
Yeah.
around LA, I would probably walk past so many famous people and
Yeah.
have no idea because I just don't.
Right.
I'm not
Well,
in.
the other one that was funny. Y'all watch Stranger Things?
I never have, but I know what the characters look like.
Papa. I don't know his name as an actor.
Yeah.
But he's like that, kind of like the villain.
yeah.
The dad,
Yeah.
the girl who adopts the girl.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. He's become like a mainstream actor.
I
He's
think
in
he's
like
in
a Marvel
Oppenheimer. He
movie.
might
I
be.
think.
Y'all saw him though?
Wow.
Yeah. I think,
What the heck?
I think the West Side is where most of the celebrities live because it's like super.
I
So is that
watched-
where you were? You were in the West Side?
We just went there for like an afternoon.
Oh, cool.
That's when we saw.
I watched. He has like a really cool house that I think is in New York, and he has like an Architecture Digest video about his house that I watched. It's pretty sick.
That's cool. Josh, I am curious when you say you stayed on because that's where Gracie and I stayed. We stayed on the east side. How north or how south were you?
It was basically on the block of where 2nd Ave and 34th Street meet.
Okay.
So it's more south of the east side, I guess.
Okay, cool. Were you near Bowery by chance?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's just a park. But we stayed like right beside it.
Okay.
But I don't know. When you said street names, it was like over my head. But yeah, we lived like really close to, or we lived. LOL. We were there for 5 days. We stayed really close to Soho and like really, really close to Chinatown. So
cool
it
area.
was so much fun.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like La Cabra, you got to go the cafe that I stayed like 2 blocks away from there.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
It was really cool. I was really excited. We had gotten some like good coffee at like some bakeries and stuff, but I had wanted to go to one that was like just like a really cool environment. Mm-hmm. So when you texted, I was super excited. I also just love like just brands and restaurants and stuff that are just like really high end and excellent, and I just love that they were like decked out in kind of like a chef apparel. I don't know what you call those.
Like an apron. Like a nice
No, it's
apron.
No,
it's
it
like
was
it's like a buttoned short sleeve button down. That's like I don't know. They look like I don't even almost like not karate esque, but it's very like uniform. It's like a tan, but the sleeves are longer. I don't know. It's very like
Yeah.
It was just very professional looking.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. The coffee was
Yeah.
really good. They had a pastry. It's like a cardamom bun.
Oh my gosh, dude!
It was delicious.
I got so many of those things. They're like
Really?
they were like wrapped up in like braid.
Yeah. Kind of wavy.
It's fascinating to me that they're from. It was in Copenhagen, right? That's where they're from, like Denmark.
I think so.
Yeah,
They have a few locations.
It was either like Finland or Denmark.
It's Denmark for sure because I read it on the box, but I don't think it was Copenhagen. I think it was
somewhere else.
place I hadn't heard of.
Something like
Anyways, the cafe looks Japanese. Like it looks like super Asian. And I was very fascinated by it because they don't have any Asian locations like that. Well, I guess like technically Oman's in Asia. I think I don't actually know that. Might be in Africa. I don't know, somewhere over there. But anyways, I just thought it was fascinating. You walked in and it was like, I mean, the walls. It had like traditional like kind of like tea house kind of like vibes, and yeah, it's just a northern central European vibe. But yeah, everything was like perfect. I felt like the pastries were
Right.
literally
Everything was
perfect.
just very precise and clean.
That's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, you've traveled a lot, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
A decent amount. My family, they would try to take us on like a couple trips a year growing up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the coolest place you think you've been, or your favorite place to go?
This makes me sound like super granola, but I just like love the national parks. That's just where
That's so granola.
I know.
You're literally a Larabar right now.
So I love those just because like you don't really get those in the South.
Sure.
So I've been to Yellowstone a few times, and I just like love wildlife and just a really sweet spot. But coolest place, Switzerland. My school in high school it was like a World War II inspired trip.
Cool.
So it was like, I think it was like 5 or 7 countries or something in like the span of 2 weeks. And my dad and my brother came on the trip, and we stayed a couple days past the trip and just rented a car and like, sped, 200 miles an hour. My dad rented an Audi, and
Let's
we
go
like
on the
went
Autobahn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And then just like had some pizza in the Swiss Alps and stuff. And it was just super cool because it was just
Oh my gosh.
remote.
So did you go to the German side of Switzerland, like Zurich side?
No, I couldn't really tell you.
Okay.
How old were you? Like how young in high school were you?
I think I was a freshman.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Freshman,
this is-
sophomore. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Geneva, the French side, when I was 17. It was the coolest place I've ever been. It was amazing.
That's sweet.
I've never been there. I've only been to London in Europe. So
Also cool.
great spot.
Yeah, I've never been to London. You got me beat.
Well, I will say London is. I was talking to someone the other day who, I can't remember if they had just moved back or currently lived there and were here visiting. I can't remember who it was or why I was talking to someone from London. But truly, the true and better New York. I mean, it is just it's just as cool as New York, but it's just older and cool. And like you were saying, the architecture in New York is cool, but London just takes it to another level, I feel like. I mean, because this stuff's just older. I mean, I think I stayed in, I can't remember. I think, I don't know if this was an actual borough or not, but I think I stayed in Kensington Gardens, or I don't know, Kensington or something like that whenever I went. And there was a bunch of think like Brooklyn townhouses, like that are red brick, but they were like white, and they were right. They have like, they pride themselves in having like way more green space than like urban areas. So there's a park like every other block in London. It's crazy. The parks weren't great, but like they had a park, like they had a green space for people to spend time in, like all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy too. It's like I feel like maybe this stuff definitely existed in Birmingham when I was in high school, but I just never noticed it. But I was a freshman in college, and I remember going, and like that was the first time I ever saw like a Euro shop, like a GYR, like a gyro shop.
Yeah.
And that was the first
gyro
time.
shop.
That was the first time I ever saw like a bookstore that was like not Books a Million or something like that.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever like went to a coffee shop in my life. Was in London.
That's crazy.
It's actually kind of wild. They had an Americano, and I thought that I was like, oh, Americans like coffee sweeter than Europeans, because they drink espresso, and we drink like frappuccinos. And I got an Americano thinking it would be sweet. It's just hilarious.
Not what an Americano is.
And I just I remember drinking it and be like, this is terrible. And like threw it away. It's so
I
and then
low-key still
literally
kind of
just
don't like
Starbucks.
Americanos.
Wow. Yeah. I never order them, but I don't hate them. But anyways,
I make them at the office sometimes, because we have a little Breville like what you have at the office, but we don't have a scale to measure. So
Oh, man.
we
You're
just
just guessing?
free ball it with espresso, and it's usually really sour and just doesn't make yummy Americano.
Right.
So that's just what I'm thinking of. But probably
man.
if I got like a well pulled shot, I would like an Americano.
Right.
man, that's I feel like traveling to Europe just really does put America into perspective in ways that you just really can't do otherwise, you know? Have you been to London before, Josh?
On that same trip, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we're there for maybe like 2 days.
So, do you see like the similarities between London and New York that I do?
Kinda. I mean, I don't think that was the bummer about the trip is everything kind of started to run together.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I don't know that I could pinpoint it, but kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
I feel like with the ginormous rivers running in between the city, and then also it's fascinating about London is they have all the canals, and they don't have those in. I don't know how they did that, but maybe that. I don't know. I've seen pictures of New York before, and the river split in between that peninsula, like historically. That's why it does it. But I don't know why. I don't know if the canals existed in London before or not.
Someone told me, I don't remember who I was talking to. I think it was literally a stranger in a coffee shop or something. Somebody told me there are underground rivers in Birmingham, and some of the buildings downtown use them as like
Water?
Either water or for like air conditioning.
An above ground river would be nice for Birmingham.
It would do
I
a
don't know
lot.
why they're hiding them.
Like
I don't know either.
one of the wildest things in the world, so Spring Street, the street that Redeemer is on, is there's an underground, not a river, but there is an underground creek
That's crazy.
that goes like literally the distance of that street, which is just like, why like urban developers thought it was worth it to create another road and not a creek like that simply blows my mind.
Yeah.
So you're saying they covered up the creek?
They covered up the creek, yeah.
Wow.
And the water does like kind of show up at Avondale Park. So I don't know what it would have looked like before, or I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
And I knew that there's also a website called Beham Wiki, talks about Birmingham, and there used to be a public, like natural pool in North Birmingham that was very popular, and then the water got like so gross because of like machinery and stuff. I think that's why they closed it.
Interesting.
But there used to be like, you know, at like it's got like Barton Springs, the place in Austin, the public pool that is like natural that everybody goes to. Have you ever heard of that?
I think I have.
Yep.
Very similar vibe to that from the pictures that I saw. But
That'd be cool.
yeah, I don't know. Birmingham really had potential to be in Austin.
Birmingham is always almost
The
some
king
other
of
kind of cool
the king
city.
of ruining things
And then
that
it
could
just
be cool.
doesn't.
Oh no, hey, we're coming back around. Yeah, we're on the. I think we're in the right trajectory. I don't really know about Birmingham as a whole though.
Yeah.
We'll see. Hey, all I gotta say is one thing: don't you Nashville my Birmingham?
Yeah. Don't Atlanta my Birmingham.
Don't you Atlanta my
Please.
Birmingham?
Amen.
Please, for the love of God.
Don't you Fort Worth my Birmingham, Griffin?
It's funny because you say all those things, and I envision what Birmingham would become if it became any of those. Like if it became like Fort Worth, there would just be more and more suburbs that just went out further and further away from the city. And if it became Atlanta, it's like they would just put houses in every open space so that like there's traffic always.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't make any sense why people live in certain parts of town.
Yeah.
If it was Nashville, I don't really know. I don't know Nashville that well, but probably
Yeah.
they'd build bigger towers downtown because I know that's what they've been doing lately in Nashville.
Oh, I want to ask Josh the question, the city development question that I was talking to you about like
Is this
forever
a new
ago.
segment?
This is a new segment
proposing?
provided by Mamitas. No. So, like, obviously, if you're given, like, I don't know, like some sort of hedge fund, like randomly you wake up one day, you realize, like, your great grandfather left you $1 billion, like an enormous, like $100 billion, like enormous amount of money. It would be like I came to this like kind of understanding that I guess I should have always had, but I never thought of about how like it would make more sense for you to go invest it in another city, because you can make more money. Like the only way that you can make money off of $100 billion instead of just spending it would be going to another city that has like a huge economy, like a New York or a Shanghai or like, I don't know, freaking like Berlin, Germany or something. But if you had to spend it in Birmingham, like what would you do?
Like to improve the city?
To improve, like essentially the only, I don't want to like go down the whole rabbit trail, but if you follow the rabbit trail, you realize like if you built a skyscraper, nobody would rent from. Like there's not a business that would rent from you. Like if you built like an MLB, if you brought an MLB team here, like you would lose money on it because there wouldn't be enough. Some people might get really frustrated for saying that, but if you were to bring like an NFL team,
Atlanta's so close.
Yeah,
that, that's
everybody would be like,
people's-
I'm not going for the Birmingham Steelers. I'm a Alabama or Auburn or whatever fan. So like you couldn't bring like a professional sports team or like you couldn't build a skyscraper or whatever it is. So if you did have to spend like an enormous amount of money, like what do you think you would do?
Oh goodness. It's funny because I've only been here for a few months.
You might honestly be you see the flaws in an unbiased way. Me and Myers freaking love it here. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like anything like I don't think it would be beneficial to try and make it into like another Atlanta or another, big skyscraper city. I don't know. I mean, if there was some way to bring in, I don't know, like a man-made river or something, like Austin,
yeah.
something like that, where there's just more, I say that. I also don't feel like Birmingham, like downtown Birmingham, has like a heart, like a central spot.
Yeah. That's fair.
So I don't think I'd try to make it like bigger or, more big city, big business.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I would develop some form of like,
This is
central,
like downtown
you
Birmingham.
are on Main Street. You are on,
Yeah.
you're like in the square.
Yeah, the closest we have is probably like Second, but there's just a bunch
is
of
that where,
restaurants. There's not like it's
Yeah.
just where a lot of the
Yeah.
good restaurants
Yeah.
are.
So maybe something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple man-made rivers. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you could honestly do both.
I think
like you could
Steven-
build like a
One of Steven's answers to this is to build a lazy river downtown.
Literally, like,
along the Rotary
And
Trail.
remind us what it's called.
the Magic City Lazy River. No, I legitimately think it would be like the two coolest. I think the two coolest. I don't know if I want to like say this verbatim or not, but the two of the cooler cities in terms of like urban planning that I've ever been to is Golden, Colorado, and Austin, Texas. And the main reasons are like people go to the center.
Yeah.
And they like convert, they like operate within the center. So like whether that's business or eating or like parties or socializing, that like there's a strip in the middle with everything, all the business surrounding it of like a park and a water source.
No, Golden's another great example.
Yeah. And one of the coolest parts about Golden is how like it's like right there beside the Rockies and like the really clear water, like in the springtime and the summertime rises because all the snow melt from the Rockies. And then there's like this super clear water that runs through the town and people float down the river. And there's like all these like taco places, coffee shops, breweries, restaurants, like all this stuff alongside the river where people like hang out at. So I thought it'd be hilarious and awesome if alongside the Rotary Trail, you took away the two roads.
Yeah.
And the whitewater rafting places you can go to in like Charlotte, there's like one in Montgomery now.
Yeah.
Like you get something like that, not like a lazy river like at a freaking water park, like a whitewater rafting type thing, where it looks like a creek almost, and
With like inner tubes.
yeah, with inner tubes, and you have like 2 lanes, so you have one going down like one way and the other one coming, so you don't have to like park at one end or whatever.
Yeah,
you can just like start at East Pole or like over there. And then you run down, and then you can like there'll be like restaurants and places to live and everything. But it would be like a cool place to go to. And in the center of that, you could include some sort of city center where it's like if there were like, I think the craziest part is if you were to do a like Birmingham ball drop for New Year's, like literally, what do you like? Where do you do it at?
Be?
I have no idea because they do it at the Vulcan, and it's like. That's the hardest place to get to in Birmingham. Like, why would
no
we
one
ever
goes to the Vulcan?
Yeah, everyone can like kind of see it like way off in the distance, but nobody like knows what's happening up. I don't know. It's just fascinating to me. Yeah, anyone who's like listening to this is not for Birmingham has no idea what we're talking about. But
That's fine. We're just talking.
yeah, I feel like I think about that those 2 Australian guys. They talk about Adelaide, like their hometown, all the time, and I have like a weird fascination with it, even though I know literally nothing about Adelaide.
There's these two.
You grow to be fond of it.
Yeah.
There's this podcast. It's called Fair Enough, and it's these 2 like Australian sketch comedians. I don't know if you've ever heard of them or seen them, the Fairbairn Brothers. It's one of the podcasts that we both really like.
Yeah, they're from Muybridge, which is like a town in like 30 or 40 minutes outside of Adelaide, which is like a city like
also still in the middle
like
of nowhere.
12 hours south of Sydney. It's like in the middle of nowhere, but it is like they have like one of the tennis majors, or sorry, not tennis majors. One of like the sub tennis majors is like they have like big all the Australian professional sports teams like will have a team there. Like it's like a big enough city. But I had never heard of it before I started listening to those guys. It's hilarious. But everybody in Australia knows what it is.
Yeah.
So
it's really funny to me. Sometimes I think about how other countries and continents have entire cultures that we are completely oblivious to.
Yeah.
Same
It's
here.
because of a language barrier or just because it's so far away.
Yeah. Like what is like a culture of Atlanta that like no one outside of Atlanta would understand?
When you say it, the thing about Atlanta, like the actual city, like I was never in that much. Like I was always kind of in the suburbs. Mm-hmm. So are you asking more like?
I was talking about like what like your part of Atlanta, like where you're from. Like even that, like that's kind of like Atlanta's so big that you never spend time in Atlanta.
No, that's true.
And I bet some
Honestly,
people would never guess a city in the South had that type of culture.
Honestly, that's probably my answer. Then is just that fact that I mean, also like people will come to visit Atlanta and they'll like ask me what you should do in Atlanta, and I'm like, to be honest, like I don't like you can go to the Coke Museum. I don't know, you can go to the aquarium.
Yeah, people who live in Atlanta don't do things in Atlanta.
You kind of do things in like the suburbs.
Yeah,
that you're
every
from.
suburb has its like coffee shop and grocery store and restaurants, and then they kind of like share.
I feel like Atlanta is
sometimes.
less like the center of every, like if you're in New York or you're in Austin, but like I feel like Atlanta, it's like, yeah, you might commute to go to work or to watch a sports game, but you're not like gathering in downtown Atlanta.
Birmingham's kind of like that in some ways.
Yeah.
Like every Homewood and Mountain Brook and Hoover and different suburb has like the same restaurants in a strip mall somewhere.
One thing that I've noticed about Atlanta in the past like 10 years is every single suburb is becoming like a tiny little city. Like they all have like, they're all building downtowns, and their downtowns are becoming like super local. Yeah. Like
Roswell and Alpharetta, I feel like are kind of both like that.
Marietta, Roswell, Alpharetta, Sandy Springs. Like they all have, I mean, what's the one like Lilburn, honestly. And then what's the
Duluth or Suwanee?
Sewanee, that's what I was thinking of. Like, and then the Fayetteville, like even in like South Atlanta, like they all have like their own little downtowns, like that are like low key nicer than downtown Birmingham's,
totally.
like crazy.
Yeah,
and they have like the biggest city ever in downtown. In downtown Atlanta that they just like never go to.
Yeah,
like it makes me wonder, like, are the only people in downtown Atlanta the people that live in downtown Atlanta?
Josh, if you could live anywhere on Earth, where would you live?
I really like the idea of just having like a ranch in Montana. I don't think at this season of life, because it's kind of isolating.
That'd be pretty boring.
Yeah, I feel like
it'd be really awesome for like a month, and then you'd be really lonely.
So I think if I said anywhere outside of the United States, that would just be like guessing. I don't know enough about those places.
Fair.
I really like I also don't know enough about the state of California and like the different areas, but I just like how many different like areas, ecosystems, that's the word there are. Like you can live on the coast, you can be very much in the city, you're like
desert
city, snowy mountains, beach,
something like that, especially if you got
it is like I think it's crazy too in California, like where we live, like California is the entire, it would be like living in Florida and living in like Boston at the same time because
Yeah.
it's like the entire. I feel like it's
So
unfair to be like,
diverse.
I'm from California. California has so much more than Alabama.
Yeah.
and it's like we have
That's
like
because it's like
if you include the
3 of
same
Alabama.
area mass, it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we actually don't have. Well, I guess we kind of do have mountains, not like
I mean,
California mountains,
if
but
you if Alabama extended up the way California does, we would get all the Smokies.
literally
So,
it would
yes.
be included. Yeah,
I mean, Chattanooga's barely outside of
if
Alabama.
the East Coast had to adapt like one state, what would it be called? I'm
Like just forming like a mega state.
yeah, if it had to be
like
one
Florida,
state,
Georgia, and the Carolinas had to all become-
Tennessee, like Virginia, North Carolina, South
Oh
Carolina,
goodness, they just all merge.
DC, yeah, and then it would probably go. I'm trying to think if Maine is the most north part, it would probably legitimately go all the way into New York. Like I think New York City would be like a San Francisco in this state. That would be the most north part, and Miami would be like the San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty sweet state.
Yeah.
That's it. I've never really thought about that. That makes like California being the cool state. That's like pretty unfair.
Yeah.
Tell you
That's a
the-
good point. Really good point.
Level the playing.
What is it
field.
called? The Missouri expansion? Isn't that what it was called when we like went out west and we ended up just like taking over everything?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know what it would be called. Producer Griff, you got any ideas? The coast. East
No,
Coast.
it would probably be named after whoever was responsible for uniting all of those states because things tend to be named after people.
Yeah.
I think it would be called Mason-Dixon. I think because that's like both sides. Mason's on the north, Dixon's on the south.
Wow.
I actually
What
have no
a
idea what that
word.
means. I assume because like the Mason, I don't know.
I don't know what
idea.
that is.
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I couldn't.
Mason's just kind of seems like a DC thing.
Is that the one that goes up and down?
I actually have
Like when
no
someone's like,
idea.
I
Across
really
the
don't know what the
Mason-Dixon
Mason-Dixon line is.
I know
to
it's
be honest.
east and west. The line is, but I don't know what it
Producer
means.
Griff,
I
do you
just
wanna
What is the
find out
Mason-Dixon
what the
line?
Mason-Dixon line is for us uneducated folks?
I love that we're getting to utilize.
The definite or
Yeah, yeah.
the Mason-Dixon line, also called the Mason-Dixon line or Masons and Dixon's line, is a line separating 4 U.S. states forming part of the borders of Pennsylvania, Maryland, Delaware, and West Virginia. So it is technically a vertical line and a perpendicular horizontal line.
What is the
So
where
it
is the
doesn't even
vertical
really
line?
come into the south.
Vertical splits Delaware and Maryland going up, and then horizontal across the bottom of Pennsylvania. Interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
So like a lot of things are south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, like everything.
Like the majority of
South
things.
Interesting.
I thought it was like Tennessee and below. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was like
Yeah,
only
yeah.
like 3 states.
That's-
Wow.
Not what we thought.
I'm so interested to talk to you, Griff, whenever you're on next week, whenever we talk to you.
Next week.
Definitely not right after Josh leaves. About Texan culture and like all the things that come with that. But-
Everyone stay tuned. You
Yeah.
just got a sneak peek at who is on next.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that California has this beat. I think when people are like, if you could move anywhere in America, where would you move? Saying California, that's an easy bet because
Yeah.
you could live in like 100 different places in California and live in a
Yeah.
a
The other
pretty
thing is you
small-
and I
can
think
road
that-
trip to all the places that you don't live in.
Right.
We don't easily have access to like a beach where you can surf.
Also, I love one of the things that I think I envy the most is like there's not like a Charlotte in the middle of California that you have to drive through traffic to
Yeah.
get it. Like if you're in Los Angeles, from my understanding, California listeners, please correct me if I'm wrong. You can just drive to San Francisco in like a few hours and you can just be there. Like it's not like you're driving, but whereas if you're here and you want to drive to New York, it would take you forever because of like you'd have to drive through like
So many cities.
So many cities.
One thing that I think is funny about California is the capital is Sacramento, and no one
Yeah, I don't even know
ever
what's there.
talks about Sacramento.
Yeah.
Everything
I feel
is
like that's
San
a lot of
Diego,
cities in
LA,
America, though.
San Francisco.
Montgomery.
Yeah, what the heck
Yeah.
is Montgomery?
That's real, actually.
I love
Yeah.
Montgomery. Just kidding.
Okay.
I mean, I love the people of Montgomery that I know. But
Montgomery as a city itself is pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
did you know where Montgomery was before you moved to Alabama?
Like if it's like north or south of here?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
And you lived in this literal bordering state. Like, that's crazy. I think the only reason I did is because I had to drive through it to go to the beach.
Yeah.
And my grandparents lived there.
So it's south.
Yeah.
It is.
Like
So you
south.
still
like an
don't know
hour
where it
south.
is. Wow. Yeah.
I think I've passed through it probably on the
If
way
you go
to
to if you go to the beach in Florida from here, you drive through Montgomery.
Okay.
Like, it also is crazy. In like cities, in terms of like Sacramento size, I wonder how many of those there are in California that I just don't know about.
Yeah.
Like, cause I remember talking to Cal Poly Kev. Is this like dude who came on a trip with me one time randomly? He went to Cal Poly. His name was Kevin, and he went.
Hence Cal Poly Kev.
Yeah, and he was talking about San Luis Obispo was the name of this city, and I don't know if it's like a city, but he definitely talked about it like everyone in California knows what it is. Yeah, it's like a Birmingham sized city, or like is it like a Montgomery? Look that up. What is the population of that town? Like, is that like a
What's it called?
San Luis Obispo? I think I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, they do.
The slow. Producer Griff is in the know. He knows about these things.
Like, because when I worked at camp in Washington, they talked about several different, like, it was weird because Washington and Oregon, there's a lot of kids that went to that camp that were from there, and
Yeah.
Vancouver, honestly, like Canada. Like, I had never heard of Bellingham, but, oh, okay. It's a county, okay.
2022 population of 282,013 people.
So that's like
282,000 people.
smaller than Montgomery. That's
Yeah.
that's like the same size as like Huntsville or something. That's crazy.
I thought Hunts.
A lot in the past 13 years either.
They haven't.
There's only been a 15,000 population increase.
Man, maybe that's our entry point into
Huntsville
Cali.
is also bigger than Montgomery, isn't it? Isn't it the same size as Birmingham?
I think no one lives like in suburbs of Huntsville,
Everyone's in like Madison.
but there are suburbs of Montgomery. So I don't know what the metro I don't know what the metro comparison of Montgomery and Huntsville will be.
Heard.
But anyways, I think it's fascinating how even in Alabama we have 4, like, I would assume Montgomery has like a maybe 1 million people in their metro. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know.
Anyways, I know Mobile has 1 million people in their metro, and I know Huntsville has less than 1 million, and then Birmingham's like got like 2, like a little over 2 million. So we have like 4 cities. In Alabama's like definitely of all the cities on the East Coast. I know Alabama's not on the East Coast, but you know, like on this side of the country, Alabama's like for sure one of the smallest.
Yeah.
So, and we have 4 cities that are like, I don't know. I just think it's fascinating comparing the West and the East in that way. Like Nevada is like Las Vegas, and I think there's a place called Reno, I think is what it's called there.
Yep.
And then that's it.
That is it.
I could talk about geography all day long, and I'm going to stop.
Geography. Geography.
Oh, man. All right. We're going to jump into another segment here. I think this will be, maybe we'll have one more segment. I think this will be our last one. We'll see. But we're going to do our like, we need to get a little chime for this. Like maybe a little baseball. Wait, let me find one. Today, we're going to be doing a little Myers Sport segment.
Sports segment. The background of this segment is I'm not a big sports person. So it's theoretically supposed to be funny when I talk about sports because
Theoretically.
Unless you hit it right on the head.
which I did do last week. Last week I was on point with my baseball trivia.
And this is Myers Sport.
Baseball.
All right. Today's stat we're going to be discussing about sports.
Josh, are you a sports guy?
More
Yeah.
or less, yeah.
He's an UGA fan. All right. So Tony Snell, if you had to guess what sport he played. Your guess.
Tony Snell.
Have you ever heard of him?
No, I have not.
Have you?
I hadn't
before looking
I had
this.
not before this.
Are you gonna have us guess?
He played in the National Basketball Association, the NBA. At the time of February 24th, 2017, he was playing for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
He once played in a game for 28 minutes.
Okay.
He had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 blocks, and 0 steals.
Oh.
And a basketball game in the NBA is 60 minutes long, right, Griff? Yeah, I think it's 4 15-minute long quarters. 412. So 48 minutes. So he played for more than half of the game
and didn't do
and
anything.
had 0 statistical impact in the game.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's
28 of the
impressive.
48 minutes.
I think that's how I would be if I played in.
And this is what this guy is known for?
I'm on a I'm on a thread right now, and it's like just insane sports stats. And like that's like almost
take that, Michael Jordan.
if you were to I'm gonna do a hypothetical after this. If I were to tell you, like, be good enough to go to the NBA, and then get your coach to have so much confidence in you that you can play like 28 minutes a game, like a whole, like
I'm
28
doing
minutes,
something.
and have
2
0
quarters.
statistical impact in the game for 30 minutes. That legitimately might be harder to do
You'd have to try.
than winning an NBA championship.
Yeah.
Like that's freaking crazy. I'm gonna look up.
Wow.
I'm gonna look up Tony Snell. Oh, he's
That's
still
crazy.
playing. How about that? He's playing for a G League team currently
I just can't.
for the Maine
so
Celtics.
Here's the
Oh,
question.
JD
for-
Davidson teammate.
This is the question for him. Do you take pride in that statistic?
You have to. Right? He was a first round pick in 2013. Yeah, he played for
Wow.
the Bulls for 3 years. The Bucks he played for the Bucks for 2 more years after that game. He played for the Bucks for 3 years, and then he played for the Pistons for 1 year, the Hawks for 1 year, and then the Trailblazers for 1 year, and then the Pelicans for 1 year. And now, after that long of that, after a 10-year NBA career, which is a long freaking time for like a average player,
Yeah.
he's playing for a minor league team now. That is crazy. I wonder if they talk about it in his Wikipedia.
That's fascinating.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Tony
On
Snell.
February 24th, 2017, in 28 minutes of play against the Utah Jazz, Snell recorded 0 counting stats, falling just 22 seconds short of Joel Anthony's record for most playing time in a game without recording a point, rebound, assist, steal, or block. No, so Joel Anthony is the other. When did he do that?
You knew who that
Oh, that
was,
guy.
Omar.
Oh yeah, I was about to say. I think Joel Anthony is the guy who held that record before.
Yeah, nice stat, though.
him.
Oh man, I'm gonna see if I can find this.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize Joel Anthony's record had been broken.
Yeah, that ticked you off.
That was crazy to me. I was like, when you asked me who that,
Dude,
who
you know
did
something
that, I
crazy?
thought it was Joel Anthony.
The other guy who held this stat played for the Bucks the same season.
Holy
He
cow!
was his teammate. That's crazy.
So they just had 2 guys who were really putting in the passing work.
It's contagious.
Literally, yeah. Oh man, they don't. Oh yeah, here we go. On January 9th, 2011, in 29 minutes of play, 0 stats, 4 personal fouls though. Wow, he has the record. I'm definitely gonna bring that up. Okay, so I wanna present this hypothetical with you. Let's see. If I gave you the choice, I'm trying to remember. Myers, you're gonna have to help me get this right. I haven't done this question in a while. But you have 2 choices. This is like a would you rather kind of scenario. First, you have to fight a bear like tomorrow, and you get to prepare as much as you want, but you just don't get to bring a weapon. Like you can, this is gonna be like you're out in the woods, and like
Bare hands.
you can you can use like a freaking log that's beside you or something like
You
that. But,
can't
like,
have like a gun or a knife. Like,
Yeah,
it has
like
to be
you're-
something you would find in the woods.
You're on a hike
what
with
type
like
of bear am I working with?
you're on a hike in like Oak Mountain, and like a black grizzly bear walks up.
A black grizzly bear.
I don't think
I
that's
didn't
a
know that
kind
was
of
a
bear.
thing.
What kind of
It'd probably be a black bear because we're in the
It's a
South.
grizzly bear that has black fur.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It's a monstrous hybrid.
yeah. Or actually, this will be super realistic. You're on a hike in the beach, like in Florida, and like a big black bear Actually, is there grizzly bears? I want it to be like something like impossible. Grizzly bear.
Yeah, put a grizzly.
So like you're hiking in like Smoky Mountains, but you're just wearing like what you're wearing right now, or like you're staying at a cabin. You walk out, take the trash out. There's a grizzly bear, and you're like, oh my gosh, what can I do? But you can't go back inside. You have to fight it. That's like what you're working with. Okay, that's happening tomorrow, and you can prepare by watching videos and all the things you want. So that's option 1. Option 2 is you have to become the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. But you're like as good as LeBron. Like you are like you yourself are as good as LeBron.
So I have all the skills.
Yeah, you have the skills. You have like the talent,
But
being capable of doing it. But you have to do it.
Or else. Wasn't there an or else?
Oh yeah. Or
My first
and if
one.
you don't do it,
If you don't become the leading
if you
scorer.
don't become the leading scorer,
Then
the moment that you retire, get cut or whatever, you have to go feet first through a meat grinder.
oh my god.
So it's like tomorrow you fight the bear, or however many years your career in the NBA lasts. You're a beast. You're so good at basketball, but if you don't become the leading goal scorer,
Oh my word.
then you get put through a meat grinder feet first, and you watch yourself die.
What's that movie? No. There's like a thriller movie where that happens. Anyway,
Oh,
yeah, it's awful.
I wonder at what
think
point
too
you
much
die.
about it.
Like
Yeah.
What's that?
meat grinders
I said,
are pretty
don't think
slow.
Too much about it.
Yeah.
Like I wonder at what point you die if you're going through a meat grinder feet first. Like you
I think we
you're
should
at, like,
focus on the
at
question and not be
So
thinking
so
about.
I can die in this bear scenario, correct?
You can. You
Oh,
can
you
also
probably
live.
will. But there's also a chance that you can't.
No, that's the thing. I think this I don't think people
There has-
survive grizzly bear attacks. I think there's other bears you can survive. But it's like a one and done.
I wonder. One specification I've never asked is, could you befriend the bear?
Well,
That
Is it like a fight to death thing, or like
I
how
think-
long?
Wait, I have 1 day to prepare.
You have to operate in the same quarters as the bear for 24 straight hours, and if you're still befriended at that point, and the bear walks away,
I think I'm learning some form of like hypnosis.
well,
Like I am like
Hypnosis?
gonna yeah.
So you're choosing
I'm
the
gonna
bear?
learn. Yep, I think so. And I think I'm
Wow.
gonna learn some like
Way
foreign approach to like hypnotizing the bear.
in one day.
Yes.
Draw your safety circle. Like they did.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
SpongeBob. Yeah,
You know, with like chickens where you can like draw the line,
the water bear,
but something like that.
sea bear.
That's what I'm doing.
I saw like a clip. My wife Claire, she showed me a TikTok.
You're who?
My wife. She showed me a TikTok the other day, and it was an English bulldog or some kind of bulldog, and they put the dog in the middle of the floor, and then
They
put
taped it
tape
around it?
and
Yeah.
then the dog like
Didn't know
wouldn't
where to go.
leave the
Yeah.
square.
It was a French
think
bulldog.
that's
I
what
saw
I would
that.
do.
So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a better story than like trying to like punch the bear.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Trying
That's
to
fair.
climb a tree and hide.
Like, yeah.
Like I'm wondering if there's like a cheat code to bear fighting. There probably isn't. I wonder what a bear would look like if you shaved it.
Yeah, not very intimidating. I just love the videos, where somebody's encountering a bear and they just start yelling at it. You
It
know,
probably-
'cause you're
it
supposed to like
probably-
make yourself big.
Yeah.
They start screaming at the bear.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
It probably have like rolls of skin, big belly.
Be
Yeah, I watched an
Be
Instagram reel of a guy who like became one with bears like out in the wild, and he like plays with them, like rolls around because bears like play with one another. Like he like rolls around with him, like screams at him. He like puts mud all over
crazy.
his body. It's crazy. Like he's a big dude though.
Yeah.
I don't think it would work with me.
I've read about and seen a couple of stories where people like become buddy with bears.
Yeah.
And pretty much everyone in the long run ends up being killed by bears because like eventually the bear gets hungry or like something
Some
happens.
just switches.
Yeah.
At what level of monkey are you losing?
Can you clarify that?
Like you know what I mean? like monkeys get like taller and bigger and more human like.
Yeah, and here we are.
And here we are right here. But I feel like I've seen some gorillas in videos that for sure would like they're one like bonk away from killing me. But I don't know if that means I could kill them. I also like
I would
at what level
I would almost rather take a bear than a gorilla.
At what level of monkey? This is gonna sound weird, but at what level of monkey does it like kind of feel like you're killing a human? Because like their motor functions are like human-esque, you know?
Yeah.
Like you would have to get like pretty personal
Once
to
it
kill.
start like showing like
I've never
sadness.
thought about that before. Yeah, they would just be like, oh,
Yeah.
or like their like wife gets like like cries,
Right,
with
like
tear
brings
ducts,
brings
and
the kids
stuff.
in.
Oh man,
Yeah,
This is a great conversation.
I've never thought about this in my life.
yeah.
But I feel like that would for sure happen with a
I
certain
feel like he'd
level
be
of
like,
like,
get behind me and
yeah,
try to
would
protect
be
his
so
family.
sad.
That would be hard.
that would be sad. I like
You
lions.
ever
and
watch
stuff.
those
Like,
movies?
there's other animals
like,
that do that, but
Planet of the Apes. You ever watch those?
I like have Planet of the Apes is one of those movies that I feel like probably piece together all the different times I've seen it on FX as a kid. Like I will have seen the whole film, but I don't know.
I've never like watched one all the way through.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Wow.
Solid question.
Hey, well, now that we've covered that, I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything we could have possibly talked about.
Oh man,
Josh, did you have anything you wanted to talk to us about?
Josh, I was gonna say, plug yourself for real.
Oh, I filmed both of these guys' weddings.
That's
Did do
right.
that.
Yeah,
And did a fabulous
good.
job. I've never cleared this air with you before, but so I posted a collaborative post of our wedding video, the wedding video you shot on our Instagram
with Gracie.
with Gracie. And when I deactivated my Instagram like 3 years ago, it deleted the post off of both of our Instagram accounts. And I have no idea if you and Allie, Josh runs his video company with his wife, Allie.
Wife, Allie.
And I don't know if y'all ever even noticed that, but the only reason that we don't have our wedding video posted on Instagram is because I deactivated my account.
That's
And
interesting.
I don't know if I
Does
can
that
get
with
it back or not because it's
Does
been
it, like,
gone for like a long time now.
archive?
Yeah.
When you
Well,
I mean, my account doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, that's
so
what you mean.
I'm really curious. I think I might re-download or log into that account one day just so I can like have it for the memes. Yeah. But I don't know if I ever want to operate on Instagram at that level again. It's
he
pretty
was really
freaking
famous.
exhausting.
He was incredibly
No,
famous.
I followed so many companies and people that I like didn't really like know anymore, or like didn't really like. I mean, the majority of my like whatever you call it. What is your timeline?
Feed.
The majority of my feed and my timeline was companies because companies post every freaking day.
Right.
Like Manchester City posted like 5 times a day.
I can't follow
Sports
any
accounts are the
sports
worst.
teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, hey, if there's any
too
freaking
much.
sports marketers out there that run Instagrams for people's accounts, please
Take a deep
chill that
breath.
frick out.
Take a deep breath,
Yes.
brother. and
Griffin
or
is
sister.
one of them, and I'm speaking to him right now. He runs for UAB. He runs it for UAB basketball, and I am not saying that it's bad. I am just saying that it is annoying. What? Oh wow! How many times a
crazy.
day do you think UAB basketball posts? I'm asking you, how many times a day does UAB basketball post? Twice. Okay.
Wow.
I'm thinking like
More on that next week.
I'm thinking if you're a professional sports team, if you're an NBA team and you play 5 times a week, I think I could merit 10 posts a week. But if you're like,
But it's like 3 or 4 or 5 times during the game.
oh yeah, like
And then their story is like infinitely long.
yeah, because I'm like, if you're trying to check a score, you're not getting on Instagram to do that.
Nope.
You're going on Instagram to see what your buddies are up to.
Yep.
At least that's what I did. That was also what Instagram was for me when I found it. So to your point that you talked about forever ago, when the Seinfeld thing, like, everybody has a point in their life where they wanted to kind of stay that way. The point of comfort in their life, whatever it is,
Yep.
how they dress, kind of music they're into, how much gas prices are, how much milk cost, what kind of social media was around, whatever it is. They just kind of want it to be that way forever.
Yep.
And the point in which I wanted that to be on Instagram is whenever it was, the timeline was in time,
In chronological
order.
Yep.
and I really only followed like a few people, and people actually posted. People don't post on Instagram
Nobody
anymore.
posts on Instagram. They put stories, but no one posts.
Yes.
Everyone feels like there's so much of a weight to post.
Yeah, like it
And
needs to be
also,
this
like,
occasion. Why does
video-
everybody think that there needs to be an occasion, but then every company thinks that like we should post your brains out?
Yeah.
I don't
Everyone,
know.
I also feel like with video becoming such a popular format, people
Yeah.
don't post photos much anymore.
Yeah, a lot of people make like
I'm not a videographer. I'm a photographer, you know? And so I don't want to.
also like a bunch of influencers. I'm saying this as I'm like about to post probably this on a video on Instagram.
Yeah, this is us
But
becoming.
people like used to
Video
only make like TikToks when they wanted to be influencers.
Yeah.
And now people just like normal posts on Instagram is just like, I've been enjoying the normal days
Yeah.
lately with like a, freaking sales song on the background or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matching set sweatpants.
Yeah. And it's just like them making a PB&J with their dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bo Burnham.
I get frustrated with Instagram and TikTok for those reasons, and I feel like you just have to feed it more of the same. And like I feel like what you're saying in the early days of, even Instagram, you could just post something regularly, and
Yeah.
you weren't having to worry about, is this like formatted properly
Yeah.
for the algorithm to push it out, or for more views, or for interaction.
Yeah.
Like
Is
it was
this
just
the right time to post on the right day?
or like you could have, I'm saying this from a business perspective, like for
Yeah.
our account, like if it's a personal account, I don't care, but like, there's something that we would just want to post, but unless it has like POV, like you just got married,
Yeah,
and
unless it has
so-and-so-
yellow text on the
yeah,
front.
it's just
Yeah.
like
People are
it
just gonna swipe off of
It
it,
just
yeah.
wants you to feed like
Yeah.
it more of what it wants.
Yeah.
It is very telling. Like you have to put things on like kind of a 5-year-old level or like a first grade level entertainment in order for all of us to be entertained. I think it really speaks to how like immature our entertainment
I think
threshold
what's
is.
interesting is, I don't know if this is the case with like previous generations. I know everybody has their personality and their preferences.
Yeah.
But I feel like our generation likes just being fed more of the same thing. And I'm not just talking about like with Instagram, like obviously the algorithm is giving you more of the same, but like even like your Spotify, like your Discover Weekly, you're not actually like discovering new artists like completely
Yeah, I
outside
feel
what
like
you
when
listen to.
YouTube and Instagram and all these places, these online platforms came about,
Yeah.
there was a time period where everyone was exploring it and discovering these new formats, and that's when like a Casey Neistat came on and invented the vlog,
Right.
and it blew everyone's
and even
mind.
outside of like I feel like we go to the same things for entertainment. Like I'll turn on the same show I like,
Yeah.
and I just wonder how much more like well-rounded or interesting or interested we could be in different things if we just like stopped consuming more of the same things we were
Sure.
always consuming.
Yeah, like how much more like well-spoken or like well learned, well read we would become.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like kind of one of the reasons that I love hanging out on UAB's campus so much more these days. Is because like I feel like UAB students are so much different than like the typical Samford or Auburn environment I grew up around.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just with UAB and like UAB being so kind of like anti-Alabama culture in so many different ways, I feel like, I don't know. I think it's so fascinating to spend time around people with way different music taste, content
Anything
taste,
really, yeah.
anything taste than me. So very interesting. Like Jake McClendon was talking about in his music class the other day. He was like, a lot of times, a lot of ways that like white savior movement kind of surfaces is through music. So because a lot of other cultures' music has kind of shifted to sound a lot more poppy, and the westernized like white man or white woman kind of created that sound from classical music and stuff. And I think it's just fascinating. Yeah, it's like, what does it look like to enjoy Afro-Cuban, kind of ritualistic music or something? Just because even though it sounds like wildly different.
Yeah.
Yeah, fascinating. We could talk about that all day.
Amen. That
I
Okay, anyways,
love
so
talking
plug
about-
yourself. We like kind of went off on a rail there.
tangent.
But
yeah. Yonder Film Co. is our company.
Try Yonder.
And we film weddings across the country, maybe one day across the world.
Wow.
Praise God.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wow. You know, speaking of that, have you ever, do you know who Allie Sims is? Mm-mm. She is a girl who went to Stanford like a year or two above me, but she had a wedding video that went viral. And John Paulson is this British architect, and he has a home in Spain. And I just found out yesterday that one of his homes is the home that Allie Sims got married in.
Wow.
Crazy. I was like on a John Paulson like page, and that home in Barcelona popped up, and I was like, "You've got to be freaking kidding me!"
That's crazy.
But so I feel like so much wedding content is to be filmed by you and Allie in Europe one day.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. Man.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah. Also, documentaries are becoming more prevalent for you.
Yeah.
Whether I guess you haven't filmed one yet, but you've been a part of filming with other people, right?
Not like full on documentaries quite, but I do like the more narrative side, and I think if I were to, a lot of people, enter weddings as kind of like a gateway into Hollywood or into commercial work or whatnot. I feel like it's either like commercial work, like Hollywood, like narrative documentary style. I feel like I'm more that path. I like, just a lot of the documentaries that I like are just like super niche.
Yeah.
Just kind of semi-involved, just kind of like inserting yourself into this person's life and then just like tracking them over a certain period of time. So I feel like that would be the type of thing that I would want to do if we, got out of weddings. But
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, well, if you're an aspiring married person,
aspiring to be married person,
if you're like my brother, who's getting engaged tomorrow, or other people I know that are getting engaged in the season to come, or getting married later, or have no idea when you're getting married, like Griffin.
Or know what marriage is.
You can, or if
you've never heard of marriage,
if you're a Mormon,
learn what it is.
If you're a Mormon who's thinking about getting married again,
Yeah.
or
a nun.
Or if you want to, go crazy, make a funeral video, something like that.
That'd be wild.
I don't know, make a commercial. Maybe if you want to,
when your grandfather died.
Yeah, maybe if you want to make a video. Yeah, maybe if you're wanting to make a video about freaking something else, a commercial product,
anything.
Yeah, anything.
Really?
Yonder Film Co.
Really?
Yonder Film Co.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do anything.
Literally anything.
In exchange for money, many men will do many things, and Josh will make videos.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're going to stop that bit right there.
Totally unniched myself, but that's fine.
The niche is POV. You just got married.
Yeah, I can do that.
Josh, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Truly, this has been a joy. I deeply enjoy our friendship and you.
You too.
You're a good bud.
And you too, Myers.
Thanks, man.
And Griff.
Friendship makes kind of seem like utilitarian. I kind of just enjoy you for being you, not for what you are to me. Yeah. Although I do enjoy that as well. Anyways,
word of mouth.
Thanks for coming on.
Yonder Film Co.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Rock and roll. Also, again, up yours, Nick. We had him on as a guest first.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Bye.
Welcome to the secret segment of the podcast, where we talk about things that are secret on the secret segment. All right, what do we want to talk about on the secret segment?
I love this.
All right, $200 million. What are you buying?
Oh,
you won the lottery.
You won the lottery. $200 million deposited in your bank account. Taxes
and tell me
paid.
about taxes. Okay.
Taxes paid.
Okay. Oh, actually,
no taxes left to pay.
I have a different question.
Okay.
So if you...
Just kidding. You're not allowed to answer that question, Josh.
People always ask the question, if you could move somewhere, where would you move in America? I want to ask the question, if you could make everyone move away from one place in America, where would that be?
Wow.
Dude, Hawaii. Take the whole freaking island to myself.
Wow. You would make
Yeah.
everyone move off of Hawaii.
I would. That wouldn't go over well with the locals.
I was gonna say.
They're like pretty upset.
That's kind of what we've been trying to do at the start. There's some laws in place to
I've
stop.
been canceled.
Dude, Gracie's mom grew up there because military. Or she didn't grow up there, but like, I can't remember. They got upset with me at Thanksgiving for claiming that. She like moved there when she was like 6 or something like that and lived there until she was 15, off and on. So I think that's fair enough. Anyways,
Yeah.
Gracie's mom grew up there, and she said that, I think it was her that was telling me, that there's like locals and they all have to live in the same house because they can't buy another house.
Wow.
That's
So like there's like, think like biblical times. There's like generations of people and their kids living in the same household, and they like might like build onto that same house.
Wow.
But they can't. They can afford to build on the same house, but they can't afford to buy another property because property's so expensive there.
That's crazy.
What have we done?
Yeah, it's crazy. And you know, there's plenty of open land in freaking Utah, Alabama, or something like that. They could move to it. Kind of suck in comparison to Hawaii.
Be pretty
A
terrible.
little bit
in
of a
comparison.
downgrade.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, that would be the
Could move to
worst.
Iowa. You know,
There's probably
Like, why would
plenty
you
of
wanna do
places
that?
to move to Iowa.
Why
Where
would
do you
you
think
wanna
the
do that?
cheapest place to move in America is?
Probably Oklahoma.
Really?
Well, actually, I take that back because tornadoes probably make it more expensive for like insurance and stuff.
Yeah.
Insurance guy.
I bet. I honestly
Insurance
like
game.
Mississippi might be the cheapest place to live in America. Producer Griffin, where's the cheapest place to live in America? I'm so curious. You have a guess, Josh?
My guess is,
North Dakota.
I feel like it's probably a state I'm forgetting. It's probably like Louisiana or something.
Honestly, maybe. What? You think it's West Texas? No shot, dude. I saw a house in Marfa for $3.5 million this morning on YouTube. My guess was Mississippi.
What? I think it's got to be somewhere. Yeah, it's like
Iowa.
Louisiana, Missouri.
I think it's Iowa.
Oh, Missouri's a good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a good guess.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, that's not.
Well,
that's
no,
like a
Like
suburb,
a whole
though.
state.
Yeah,
Like-
what about state?
The cheapest, like, look up, like, I'm thinking, like, where is the cheapest houses in America? Well, I don't know if that's the right.
Probably Hickory, North Carolina.
Cheapest state to live in.
No, Hickory's like a suburb of, like, Durham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Check it out.
Gang.
Missouri.
North Dakota. Alabama?
Florida. Oh,
Really?
I'm thinking down.
We're so skewed because we live in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Birmingham is
Dude,
expensive.
where in Alabama? Where?
Montgomery.
Dude, think about everywhere outside of here. I mean, Clay, Alabama.
I will say
McDonald's, Chapel.
gas gets wildly cheaper in between, like the stint when you drive to the beach in between like Montgomery and the beach.
Yeah.
Gas gets
The
pretty cheap.
center part of Alabama,
Like
below
30 cents
Birmingham, is
cheaper.
mad cheap to live.
Yeah, I know there's no poverty problem there because I had a friend intern in like
Yeah.
I think what is the name of the town? Columbiana.
Yeah.
Said a bunch of homeless people live down there in the woods in little villages. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
More you know.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I gotta
Cool.
pee.
The secret
Yep.
segment's over and Josh has to pee. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Bye.